All right, let's get this ship rolling. So, welcome to Startup Weekend Iowa Online 2024. My name is Jay Cooper. I am the facilitator for this event, one of the organizers for this event. We've got a whole team of organizers across the state who have been helping us out with this and beyond Iowa as well. And so, I know at least one of those people is on this call right now, but hopefully more of them will be joining us later this evening and then on into tomorrow as we're working on maybe making some ideas real over the next 26 hours or so. Before we get going, there are a few things that I do want to touch on. This is Friday. I always start out when I facilitate one of these events with a quote from Scott Belsky. He wrote a book called The Messy Middle, really kind of about that point in between stuff like this, where you're first starting out, and that eventual exit where maybe you've sold your company, or maybe you've had an IPO in the stock market, or like most startups, unfortunately, end up having to shut down. But let's hope that's not one of you in the course of this as you're going through this. But what we're hoping that you do is you take away some skills and make your idea a success. So it's not about ideas, it's about those making those ideas happen. And so that's what we're doing this weekend. So over the course of what we'll do today and tomorrow, we're doing some networking. I'm looking at the Discord server and people are already doing a lot of networking, which is awesome. I saw some pitches in the idea storm room on the Discord server, so that's great. It's great to see some amazing looking ideas so far. What you'll want to do tonight, you want to choose your project, you figure out which team you want to be on. So after this live stream, this is where you go and you start lobbying people. You start getting people to join you on your journey. You build your team and then you get together online, however you want to make that happen. If it's on Discord, if you have your own Zoom account, if you want to do it that way, however you make it work, just make it work somehow over the course of the next 26 hours. So before we get going, there's a lot of kind of administrative stuff that we always have to cover at the very beginning of a startup weekend. So we have virtual venue logistics. This is many of you already have the link. You're in the server already. If not, that's okay. We'll get you in there. If you're having any trouble getting into the Discord, or you have trouble with Discord in general, you can send me an email. I sent out an email earlier today from jcarlcooper@gmail.com. That's the email you can contact me through. We want to give everyone the best experience possible. So to do that, everyone needs to treat each other with respect, be mindful of others' experiences, act professionally. We're here to have a good time. We're here to build cool stuff over the course of this weekend. So just treat each other with respect, treat each other how you would want to be treated during this event. And we're all in this together. So if there's any harassment, talk to me, send me a private message. If it escalates even further, we do have ways of dealing with that. So who's involved? There's a short little video we always play here.
This is a moment of unprecedented challenge. A moment that demands new ideas, new approaches, entirely new ways of thinking about the way we live and work and relate to each other, how we relate to the world and worlds beyond. What we need more than ever are entrepreneurs, from Birmingham to Bangalore and everywhere in between. This idea that you need to be in this or that place, have a PhD or be a coding genius, forget it. If you have an idea, a passion, grit and determination, an unyielding belief in what's possible, now is your time. And this is why we exist. To put founders first, to mentor them, connect them, inspire them, to give them everything they need to succeed. Not just because we love it, but because the world needs it. More than ever.
It's one of our traditional things we do over the course of Startup Weekend. We've got a couple other videos to get to as well. Was everyone kind of a check? Was everyone able to hear that? Okay,
It was a little bit light, but it got better.
good. All right. So yeah, there's one other video we'll play. So we'll see if it works better. But Techstars Startup Weekend is a global community. You're no longer alone in your entrepreneurial journey as you go through this. We do want to thank our local partners, Pour Over Publishing, Entre Partners, Jay Cooper, freelance media producer, and Cider Finder, and you'll find out kind of what our partners have in store for you during our demo day at the very end of the program. We also do have global sponsors, Google for Startups, GoDaddy Registry, and Brex. And you get some free stuff as being part of this event this weekend. So from Google for Startups, you get $300 in cloud platform credit. This will all be sent out in an email, so you don't need to vigorously take notes here, but you'll register at that website there. It takes about 2 to 5 days for it to kick into your account, but definitely if you're building an app, you're building something that requires some remote computing power. Always cool that you get some of that. You get a free domain name from GoDaddy. You register at startup.co. And every single person here can register a domain name. So even if you're not the one building out the website, definitely utilize that if you've got another project that you're thinking of working on here in the future. And we do have a special code. That's how it cancels out whatever $7 or $9 or whatever it is. It's SUW Iowa 24 is what you'll put in when you're registering for that when you go to startup.co. And then Brex, you get 30,000 points after spending, I don't know, it says 100, but 1,000, I believe is what that says on a Brex card. So if you don't have an account yet, use that link and definitely take advantage of that. So our agenda, our evaluation criteria. This is our one last video, and then we won't have to do that anymore.
Welcome to the world's largest and most influential entrepreneurial network. Welcome to Techstars. At Techstars, we believe great ideas can come from anywhere, that entrepreneurs can and do change the world. That's why we run thousands of Startup Weekend programs in more than 600 cities and 120 countries, connecting, inspiring and empowering thousands of entrepreneurs to build something amazing. It's also why we put on dozens of Startup Week programs far beyond the usual tech hubs, celebrating entrepreneurial people and ideas everywhere. Techstars community programs are imagined, organised and executed by local community leaders. And when you attend a Techstars community program, you become part of the same thriving network that powers startups in our accelerator programs, connecting you with mentors, investors and innovation leaders, giving you unfettered access to everything you need to do what you were put on this earth to do, to build a better future.
So we have an action-packed 26 hours coming up here. A lot of stuff we're doing tonight, and then of course tons of stuff tomorrow over the course of the entirety of Saturday. So up to you if you want to get some sleep. I know I usually get some sleep during these events, but I know some people work diligently for the entire event. So it's up to you. So tonight we're going over the basics. We're going to do some team formation, and then you start in on research. And then Saturday we'll have some validation time. We're going to have a bunch of mentors here both tonight and all day tomorrow. You'll be building your MVP, whatever that looks like. Usually with these online events, it's more apps and websites and that sort of thing. But if you got an idea for a physical product, that's also cool. We'd love to see pictures of that, whatever thing you end up building over the course of this weekend. And then at the very end, you'll have your pitch deck. You'll give your 5-minute pitch, and then we hang out on Discord afterwards and just enjoy each other's company for a little bit longer before we all disperse back to our regular lives. So our judging criteria, there's 3 areas that we look for when the judges are going to be figuring out who wins what place at the end of this event. So we look at validation, execution and design, and your business model. So validation, did you get out and talk to customers? With events like this, did you get them on Zoom? Did you get them on the phone? Maybe you're outside talking to people. That's great. That's awesome. Are you actually solving a problem? So is it a problem that's affecting you? Is it a problem that's affecting your community? And are you actually solving that with your potential solution? And then also, have you identified specific target markets? So, maybe it's kids that would benefit for this. Maybe it's women aged 30 to 60. You don't know. You'll find this out when you go out and talk to customers. With execution and design, we see, do you have an MVP, a minimum viable product, or do you have a prototype? What does your potential solution look like at the end of the weekend? And then design matters. Is your product easy to use? If it's not easier to use than your competition, it's going to be a hard sell to get people to use your solution versus your competition. And then your business model. How do you plan on making this a successful business? What are you going to charge for your solution? How are you going to gain your customers? Are you actually solving a problem? The value proposition comes back in. And then, is your idea unique? Are you not just reinventing something that someone has already done? There's already an Uber, there's already an Airbnb. I don't know if we exactly need another one of those things. So just think about whether or not your idea that you're coming up with is unique compared to the existing businesses out there in your sector. All right. And so with in-person events, we do actual in-person pitches. We're on Zoom this time. If anyone would like to get up and talk about what they are trying to build a team around, we can do that as well. We do have some ground rules here. So can you pitch something you've already worked on? The idea of a startup weekend is that it's supposed to be brand new ideas, or ideas that maybe you've done a little Google searching, not something you already have an LLC for, not something you already have patents on, that sort of thing. So brand new or relatively new ideas for this weekend. If your idea is not selected, we always suggest you join another team, get some good experience out of it. Maybe you'll make some connections. There's a good chance that the team you're with, they're like, yeah, this was fun this weekend, but maybe you could end up lobbying them to join you after this weekend to help you with what you wanted to work on in the future. Can you still work on your idea if it's not selected? So I know it says 5 to 8 people here, but based on our ticket numbers, teams of 3 to 5 are okay. Usually you want to have at least 3 people on a team, just because it makes the weekend, because the weekend is so fast paced, it makes things a lot better. And then where do you pitch your idea? The optimal place is over on Discord in the Idea-Storm channel. But at the end here, we will open this up for folks to just get up, introduce yourselves, tell us about what you're thinking about building, and what kind of people you'd need on your team. When you do form your teams, you're going to want a balanced team. You're going to want maybe someone who's technical, maybe a domain expert, someone who's good at sales, the business aspect, and then someone who's creative, maybe does that UI or UX that you need for your app. Things to keep in mind: 65% of all startup failure is due to team issues. So this is a good time to kind of figure out who you gel well with, who you would work well with, at least for this weekend, if not in the future. You want to try to have diverse skill sets and perspectives. There's been research done that the more diverse the team, the better the outcomes. And during this weekend, during this 26 hours, nobody's the CEO. There's no C-level titles during startup weekends. So you're all wearing a lot of hats right now. Maybe you're doing both business and creative, or maybe you are the domain expert, but you also are lending some technical support. So wear those hats, wear them proudly over the course of this weekend. Before you leave if you do decide to get a few hours of sleep this weekend. You want to have a team. You want to come up with whatever your workflow is going to look like. Maybe it's on Discord. Maybe it is a private Slack channel. Maybe it's a bunch of Google Docs somewhere. It's completely up to you. We leave it completely up to you on how your team operates. You want to define your priorities. You want to design. You want to assign roles for the weekend. So maybe you've got folks who do have a ton of connections in whatever industry you're working on, and they've got that whatever skill as a good salesperson, or so they have that. They're a people person. So maybe you want to assign those folks to customer discovery, versus maybe someone who's maybe a little more introverted, maybe not as willing to or as able to talk to people. Maybe that's someone who's working on the more technical, creative aspect. So work through that with your team. If we were in person, you'd make a sign with your name and project and team members, but that's not something we do on the online one. So if you want a special room over on the Discord server, I can create a private room for you and your team. Just reach out to me on Discord. I'm going to put all of these links in the Discord as well. There's just a ton of stuff out there that will help you on your journey. As I get to know many of you in the Discord server, I'll find out how experienced you are, and whether or not, I know some of you have done startup weekends in the past, but some of you may be brand new to this type of event. So we provide a lot of these tools for folks, especially if you're just starting out with your startup weekend journey. One last thing before I hand the floor over to everyone else, we have something called Techstars Pre-Flight. It's basically a social media platform, message board, whatever you want to call it. It has the community organizers, facilitators, a lot of folks who go through the Techstars Pre-Accelerator programs. Startup Weekend alumni are in there. Definitely a great place to learn more about entrepreneurship in general. Tons of resources. I check it out occasionally because community members are posting different articles on there. So you scan this QR code. I've also sent out this link in emails. It'll go out in another email later during this event. It's a great platform to be on. So definitely check that out this weekend. So that's the point where my slide deck ends. So your teams should be forming on Discord right now. You have that link. Both I shared it earlier. It's been in the email. If you have folks that you know who would be interested in joining for the remainder of the weekend, tickets were free. So you can add as many folks as you want to help you out with your projects this weekend. Would love to see a ton of activity over in Discord, but I know I'm going to quit sharing my screen because I'm at the end of my slides right now. Would love it if anyone wants to get up there and pitch your idea. Let us know what you're wanting to work on this weekend. The floor is open. Is anyone brave enough to put yourself out there?
I mean, I'm on the screen, so I can talk.
As I say, you're well. Introduce
Might as
yourself.
well.
Tell us where you're from and what you'd like to work on.
Sure. Yes, my name's Cameron. I'm based in the Quad Cities, so
Okay.
in Davenport area. I come from a marketing creative background, so primarily marketing for early stage tech startups. I worked with blockchain and crypto companies. I've worked with digital health companies. Currently working with digital health companies at the early stage. So saw Techstars come up, and I'm like, yeah, this might be a cool event to join. Yeah, I didn't really come in prepared. I didn't join the group coming prepared with an idea. So I was like, oh, I got to kind of think of something. I put two in the Discord that I've thought about. One initial idea I thought about could be more of like a tele-wellness app for preventative care for like chronic disease and cancer. So essentially filling out a health and family history form questionnaire, collecting data around just general patient data. And then I think a lot of people are unaware of what screenings, by what age you should get, and different things like that. And we're seeing people younger and younger be diagnosed with cancer and chronic disease. So I think obviously a big need. People are unaware. So just having a generic tele-wellness app that can walk people through, hey, your 35th birthday is coming up. Have you had these screenings, or have you had, this blood test taken and screened for this one thing? So just very generic when it comes to user onboarding, but being able to collect patient data that can then be super valuable on the back end. So that's one idea. And another idea I had was decentralizing the insurance model, like current like insurance provider model. So one thing is, like, as a freelancer, or if you work for startups, or if you are a solopreneur, it's very hard to get good healthcare. And a lot of healthcare is focused on like addressing hospital visits or doctor's appointments, but not a lot of like preventative care. So obviously the Quad Cities are big in their chiropractic uh, practices here. But not a lot of insurance covers chiropractic. And so what if you could decentralize the model, and that patients can choose what the provider covers? So, if the community votes for chiropractic and, genomic testing and blood testing and hyperbaric chambers and whatever else, more preventative care, then, as a almost like an insurance co-op, we can offer to cover that instead. And so more of like a health like community fund, which works well in some areas, but like being able to scale that and leverage like decentralized technology to bring that to a massive scale could be really interesting. So I don't know, those are my two initial ideas. So if people want to work on it, we can work on it. If not, I'm also happy to help on someone else's ideas. So
Excellent. It sounds like some pretty solid ideas. So
yeah,
we'll see
don't know
where
how
we
much
go.
you could do on the weekend with those, but
It's
try.
you got to start somewhere. So why not, why not
Yeah.
dedicate a weekend to it and see where it goes. So thank you.
Yep.
Thank you very much. It's really nice to meet you. Anyone else want to jump in there and put your ideas out there?
Hi, my name is Mazum and I'm from Pakistan.
Yeah.
And my background is I've completed my bachelor in computer science, and recently I completed my master in data science.
Mhm.
So my startup idea is same as Cameron. What I want to uh, develop a AI leverage based platform for the patient recommendation system.
Mhm.
So normally, mm, my goal will be to bridge the gap between the generalized healthcare practices and personalized care. So our startup will enable the medical professions to make data-driven data-driven decisions that are grounded in individual genetic insight.
Nice. Very cool. Nice. How did you, you're not in Iowa. How'd you find out about our event?
Actually, behind this idea, uh, I feel there's a gap between the patients and the doctor. And because, for example, initial level, what I'm recommending, I will capture the three diseases: diabetics, uh, heart failure, and the blood pressure, because all three are interrelated. So if you have a diabetics patients and you go to the doctor, but then you can feel a doctor can not advise you perfectly according to your disease. Uh, Doctor advise you only the medicines, but doctor cannot advise regarding your lifestyles, how to change the lifestyles. So for that purpose, this idea came into my mind to develop a platform where everything will be enabled to the patients, and patient can uh, see inside what they can achieve from the platform.
Very nice. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Rocco, how's it going?
It's going well, thank you.
Good. So you're kind of pinching in as a coach this weekend, it kind of sounds like, or are you thinking about participating?
I'll be happy to be a coach and help
Yeah,
wherever anyone needs help, but I'd be happy to pitch an idea.
go
I'm
for it.
not going to work on it. So, according to some sources, 80% of people prefer to buy local, or I sorry, prefer to buy from small businesses. Yet online fraud is rampant. People are making larger and larger purchases online as well. So I propose that Validate AI goes beyond standard Trustpilot and Google rankings to validate businesses for people prior to large purchases.
Very cool.
The end.
Did you put that one in the Discord? Or the
Not yet. And I
disclaimer?
actually had someone who like had a fraud. They bought a piece of equipment online and the site was wonderful, wonderfully built.
Mhm.
It was an immaculate fraud. They did a very good job of defrauding this person. But beyond like that basic Google and Trustpilot ranking, if you would have scraped back one layer or peeled back one layer of the onion, you could see that there were a lot of fraud signals. So
Yeah, this I know with Startup Weekend in Iowa City, it's always kind of a theme that it's like some people get up like, I don't want to work on this, but here's an idea. That's why I
yeah,
love it. It's just the ideas just flow from folks. So it's always fun.
yeah, that's just an idea. I think I have plenty to do in the real world right now that I would be a better helper than um, running with this idea.
Well, thank you for that.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, anyone else? We've got Sarah, we've got Chris, Logan. Got any ideas you wanna put out there?
Sure, yeah. I can talk about an idea.
Go for
Um,
it.
yeah, so I'm Logan. I'm an Iowa State student, computer science student. And the idea kind of pertains to some software related stuff. So to kind of outline like a problem, I guess, and what like spurs this idea is the government has a lot of like procurement contracts that they give out each year. It's like a uh really big industry or like space. The contracts range from like Lockheed Martin size things to like working with like really, really small businesses for like one particular contract. So there's a wide range. It's like 700, I think $20 billion per year that's spent on like all these contracts.
Oh,
But the process of which like a business has to go look for the contracts that the government has listed is all kind of antiquated. You have to do like a manual search, like something like a Google search, and like filter based on a bunch of stuff. And the UI is kind of old, and they have APIs where you can fetch this data from, but it's all kind of like all the data is not presented in a way that's super useful to the business, like in the way that it's presented. And so the like kind of solution or like idea, I guess, would be building out like some sort of platform that can help bridge the gap between all of this data that comes in from the government in terms of like what contracts are available, and matching these contracts with businesses that they would actually be relevant to. So kind of flipping around the way that it currently works, where business have to go out and like search for contracts themselves. Instead, the idea would be have so basically a service or software that will bring these contracts to the companies so they can focus on the fulfillment side of the contract and not worry as much about um, the search process, which isn't really a good use of their time. So yeah.
very cool. Love the idea. Yeah, it's kind of one of those things. It's like there's basically free money out there. You might as well figure out ways to grab that. So love it.
My
The
my
idea.
friend works for the VA. Sometimes they can't go to Walmart to buy toilet paper. They have to buy it from a government provider. So I think this could be really cool.
Definitely. Any other contributions? Anyone else want to throw an idea out there? And of course, this conversation will keep going on the Idea Storm Discord channel, but it's neat to finally put some faces to names as I've been getting this organized. So, Sarah, Chris, either of you have any ideas or want to just introduce yourselves? They might just be listening while they're eating dinner too. Happens a lot. Say, do any of our other coaches want to chime in, introduce yourselves?
Yep, I'll say hi. I'm Jason. I'm a business growth and stabilization strategist. Um, and I just enjoy, I'm also a alumni of Techstars, and I really enjoy this process. So I'm here to help in any way that you need to help. If you're looking for ideas, Rocco can provide you with more. But I also put some question is in the ideation channel that can help stimulate thoughts around ideas. So if you're looking for something that you can try those out.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
I have a lot of ideas, but I think what Jay said is correct. It's the execution of the ideas that's the hard part.
Mhm. Yep. But you are an idea machine. I've been working with you the last couple of years. You are an idea creator. So excellent. Loika, you there? Maybe not. He might be off doing something while listening while we're on here, but excellent. All right. Well, let's all head back to Discord then, and we'll see what teams end up forming in the next few hours here. So thanks so much, and we'll see you over on Discord. Bye bye, everyone.
Thank you.